hailing from just a few states over. She loves a good Cheez-It and will wash it down with some swig. She loves Scrabble, outdoor concerts at the Ruoff, and golfing at Crooked Stick. She's every ref's favorite, and she dresses like a CEO because she's a boss. Please welcome to the show, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark walked into a high-pressure interview and didn't hesitate for a moment, in what was arguably her boldest and most unfiltered appearance yet. The WNBA's biggest star joined Sue Bird live at All-Star Weekend as a special guest on the A Touch More podcast. Right from the start, Clark brought an electrifying energy to the conversation. She shut down NBA rumors with brutal honesty, spoke candidly about becoming a walking meme, and even threw some subtle but spicy shade at her coach. This wasn't the media-trained Caitlin we're used to. This was real, raw, funny, fiery, and totally unfiltered. If you thought you already knew Caitlin Clark, think again. She gave us the kind of candid honesty that generates headlines. Here's a breakdown of the biggest, boldest, and most talked about moments from this explosive conversation that you won't want to miss. And if you're a fan, comment CC Superstar to show her your love and support. At the start of the interview, Sue Bird pointed out that Caitlin was only in her second year and already part of the All-Star experience, this time even hosting. Despite not being able to play, Caitlin admitted she was disappointed, just like everyone else, but said she was still able to enjoy it. She praised Indiana for doing an incredible job in organizing the event. Even though she wasn't suiting up for the All-Star game, she was undeniably the face of the entire weekend. In the heart of Indiana, her adopted home Caitlin stepped into the spotlight and fully embraced her role as the unofficial host of the WNBA's biggest event. From giant Nike billboards around the city to a packed schedule of media appearances, Caitlin's presence was everywhere. She couldn't play, but she showed up with pride and purpose, reminding fans why she's more than just a star athlete. She's a symbol of where the league is headed. Caitlin said she wouldn't want it any other way, explaining how much time, effort, and money had gone into preparing for the All-Star Weekend. Since the announcement was made shortly after last year's event in Phoenix, Indiana had been working non-stop to make it special. She acknowledged the many behind-the-scenes people and committees who would never get public credit for pulling off the logistics. She emphasized that the event wasn't just about the competitions themselves, but also about creating a great experience for everyone coming into the city to enjoy the atmosphere. Even from the sidelines, Caitlin made it her mission to help create a memorable All-Star Weekend. She praised Indiana's behind-the-scenes efforts, talked about how much she appreciates the fan base that's embraced her, and made it clear that showing up for her city mattered deeply to her. She said that as the host, she wanted to give it her all, because who knows when Indiana will get to host, and that may not be for several more years. That's why she wanted to do everything possible to make the experience amazing for everyone involved. When you're Caitlin Clark, every move you make is analyzed, debated, and dissected. In a particularly honest part of the interview, she opened up about that pressure, the constant noise and criticism that comes with being one of the most talked about athletes in the world. Yet Caitlin doesn't flinch. She talked about how social media creates a distorted version of reality, and how the moments that really ground her aren't likes or headlines, but the young kids in the crowd who look up to her with wide eyes. For her, those are the moments that matter most. She emphasized that social media often presents a false version of the real world. She forgets that at times, but showing up to arenas and seeing the kids in the stands helps remind her how many people genuinely support and love her. She pointed out that those kids aren't the ones obsessing over every comment or move she makes online. For Caitlin, the goal is to just be herself, show up every day authentically, and not let the noise distract her from her purpose. She also revealed a side of her that fans rarely see. While her on-court persona is fiery and intense, her teammates know her as the jokester, the comic relief in the locker room. Caitlin said most people don't realize how goofy she really is, and her teammates Sivan, her coach, Steph White often talk about that side of her. Once she's on the court, she's all business and competitive fire. But off the court, she's having fun and enjoying the ride. Still, Caitlin made it clear that being goofy doesn't mean she's not serious about her game. She talked about how she balances different parts of her identity, the athlete, the teammate, the daughter, the public figure, and how that balance helps her stay grounded. She doesn't use humor as a mask. Instead, she sees it as a source of strength and peace. It's how she handles criticism and chaos without losing herself. In this moment of rare introspection, we saw a deeper, more vulnerable side of an athlete who is always under the spotlight. She even joked about how her group chats are full of hilarious messages, admitting that sometimes her friends think she's trolling. But that humor creates a bond with her teammates and helps build trust. She said that in private moments, with family or close friends, she feels most herself. It's not about escaping from the pressure, it's about being comfortable and creating spaces where everyone can be authentic. For most athletes, there's a single moment when they realize they've officially arrived. For Caitlin Clark, there were several, from Travis Scott posting her on his Instagram story during college to her legendary 41-point triple-double in the Final Four. Caitlin's rise has been filled with unforgettable performances and viral moments, but she says the night everything truly changed was when Iowa beat Louisville in her junior year to go to the Final Four. That game, where she had 41 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists, was the one where she realized her life was never going to be the same. What made it surreal wasn't just the headlines, it was seeing her idols take notice. LeBron James, Steph Curry, athletes she had grown up idolizing, were now publicly cheering her on. She shared that the one person who really left her start was LeBron. For Caitlin, LeBron was her Michael Jordan, the person she grew up watching and admiring. Even Steph Curry began commenting on her performances by the end of her college career and into her professional journey. She said she still has moments where everything feels unreal and that she feels extremely lucky and grateful. That kind of recognition doesn't just validate your talent, it shifts your whole world. Yet Caitlin still carries herself with humility and a sense of awe. She was asked about turning down an invite to the NBA's three-point contest, and she made it clear that her decision had nothing to do with the bizarre rumor that she didn't want to shoot off a rack. She said the NBA really wanted her and Sabrina Ionescu to participate, maybe even a few others, but for her, it was important to be in Indiana and show up for the WNBA's All-Star event in her own city. She said she would have done it no matter what, and she wanted her first All-Star experience to be with her fans. Later in the interview, Caitlin addressed that false rumor directly, a moment that had the crowd buzzing. The rumor was that she declined the NBA invite because she didn't want to shoot off a rack. Caitlin called it out as a dumb lie and said she was happy to finally be able to fact-check it herself. She admitted she didn't know who wrote the article, but she was pretty sure they didn't feel great after hearing her response. Whoever their source was, they were wrong. Caitlin laughed it off but didn't hesitate to call out the media for running with baseless stories. It was a reminder that she's not just playing the game, she's also taking control of her narrative. Finally, she talked about those unforgettable games where she just couldn't miss. She joked that she shot 30 times a game, so she always thought she was on a heater. Some nights she was, some nights she wasn't. But professionally, she said that Liberty games stood out. As a shooter, when 2 or 3 shots go in, she knows she's about to launch a third even if it's not the most advised shot. And when that third one goes in, then you know you're hot. She said that, as a shooter, confidence just keeps building. The ball feels better coming off your hands, and the rim starts to look huge.